So, everybody, welcome to another episode of Women Petpreneurs Podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. So, my guest today is Mia Irvineth.
Yeah.
Did I
Well
say
done.
that correctly? Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to refer to you as Mia
Yeah,
for
that makes it easier.
the rest of the podcast. So, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
I've always been into animals. I mean, I was breeding hamsters and guinea pigs and stuff like that when I was young. And then we always had dogs, so I was into dog training. In Sweden there is like youth clubs where you do dog training. And almost every city has the dog training club, and there is a youth section in it. Sorry, now I'm just there. Oh, sorry. There. I have a dog in my lap and he's pushing buttons.
Okay, I got a dog in my sweater.
Yeah. And I have Ned
Yeah.
there.
Oh, he's cute.
So he's adamant. Usually he's completely fine being in the sofa, which is beside me, but now for some reason he's like, no, mommy, I need to be in your lap.
Okay. Who lives in a sweatshirt? You know?
Yeah. No, so we had a poodle when I was growing up, and I learned how to brush him and do basic grooming because my great aunt, she was a dog groomer, so I knew it was I knew you could work as it, so it was nothing new. And then no, I worked with animals my whole life. I was a veterinary nurse for many years before I became a dog groomer.
Okay, yeah, you know what? It was like a shock to me that dog grooming was actually a career.
Yeah.
And I did not make that realization till I was like about 38 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
Pissed at my family and took the help wanted job at Petco as a bather.
Yeah.
Prior to that, that never occurred to me.
Yeah.
And where I grew up in Yonkers, there was apparently some really extraordinary groomers in Yonkers. I could have learned from the best.
Yeah.
But anyway, here we are. All
Yeah.
right. You grew up in Sweden.
Yeah, I am. I did. So I moved to Ireland, is it 13 years ago now? Because I was fed up with the Swedish winter. It's very dark and gloomy and cold. And I said, no, but I can't take the heat. So Spain or something else that was out of the question. So Ireland was really in the middle, perfect for me.
Yeah, Ireland's on my bucket list. I'll get there one day. And I totally feel the whole done with winters. All right.
Yeah.
So I was done with New England winters, which I'm sure is nothing compared to Sweden winters. And I had enough here. So, I'm here in the Pacific Northwest right now. I'm in the sun shadow of was it Mount Rainier? Whatever, the sun shadow. We don't get
Yeah.
it. However, it's not what we would call a sunny place to live.
Yeah.
Which is fine because there's very little snow here. Does Ireland get snow? It gets snow, right?
Not in the part where I am. So I did a lot of research.
Okay.
I checked the weather forecasts and everything and the weather statistics, and I said, okay, where is the part because Ireland is famous for rain. But I said, where do we have the most amount of sun and less amount of rain? And it turned out to be in the eastern part of the country. So
Okay.
we had snow. We have had one big snowfall. It was in 2018, and it was literally, everything came to a standstill, but it was a huge amount of snow falling just overnight.
Yep.
And with high winds. So the village where I live, it got blocked off. You couldn't get in, you couldn't get out because there was a 2-meter high wall of snow blocking the way. But
Yeah,
it was gone in 2 days. It's just melted away, and that's the last time I saw snow.
Yeah, I think 2018, that was I moved here in 2019, but in 2018, they were building the house here. And they got socked with two big snowstorms. One of them was dumped over 12 inches of snow. This area does not get 12 inches of snow.
No.
Okay. You know, when you're from other parts of the country, like 12 inches, well, that's nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
But here it's a big deal if you're not used to either driving in it or the city is not used to clearing that kind of snow.
Yeah.
So, and then people go, "Well, I'm not working in this weather." I don't blame them because
No.
if you're not used to working in that kind of weather, please don't work on my house.
No, exactly. Don't ruin it.
It's okay. Push the date off a little bit. I'm fine with that. I still got a
Mm.
lot of stuff to pack here.
Yeah,
Right. So how do you like living in Ireland?
I love it. It's not, I mean, besides the weather, it's people here are lovely, and it's less. Sweden can be very strict. It's a lot of red tape, and the Swedish people, we are very obedient. So we follow the rules, and I that was very, should I say, when you looked at how the pandemic was handled here in Ireland, we had rules that said you're not allowed to do this. But in Sweden, they said we recommend that you don't do this. So and people just followed it because the authorities said it. So let's obey.
So they didn't have to mandate it.
No,
This
no, they
was
didn't
good
do.
enough.
Yeah, because they just said like we recommend that you don't do, that's that is the difference, because over here in Ireland it's much more like, oh well, we work it out, and our rules, yeah, but you can always try, and if it works, it works. While
Right.
in
So,
Sweden it is just like no, you can't do that.
right. So you had a business, a grooming business in Sweden, and you have a
Yeah,
grooming business here in Ireland.
yeah.
All right. What's the difference between those two countries?
And there is two differences. So one is run from a business point of view. Again, it's more of a red tape in Sweden. So it's much more, I mean, you pay VAT from day one in Sweden, regardless of your income, you have to pay VAT. While over here, you have a VAT threshold. So if you're below the threshold, you don't have to pay VAT.
Right. And
And
for those who don't know what VAT is, just explain.
VAT, value added tax.
So you guys
So
think
it's
tax
tax.
terribly here in the United States. So
Yeah.
that tax. All right.
It's
That
a
is
tax,
that.
it's a tax on everything, really. So it's literally just another way for for every government all of Europe to make more money.
Right. And I think that was instituted because there is such free trade in Europe between the
Yeah,
countries that it's sort of like sales tax in the United States. There's
yeah,
so,
it's roughly the same. Yeah,
so there's so much free trade between the states, but you know, if you buy something in Connecticut, Connecticut wants its tax. They
yeah,
don't care that you live in Washington. They want their tax, and that's the
yeah,
same thing with the VAT tax. They don't
yeah,
care that you're from Ireland. You just purchase or use a service in Sweden. You have to pay that tax.
yeah, exactly. So it's the same as your sales tax, and so that made a difference. But also, it's also no, it's just if we look at accounting in Sweden, you have to, your account needs to be done in a very strict way, and it has to be done in a certain way. While over here, it's more, oh, just take an Excel sheet and just list your all your outgoings and all your income, and then you just subtract your outgoings from your income, and that's what you submit as your tax return. So it's no, everything is just more easygoing.
Okay.
And then what I found as well as working as a dog groomer, it's a difference. Clients in Sweden, but that goes back to Swedish people being like very organized and proper order in everything. It's like people, if they buy a dog, they read up on the breed. So they know if they buy a wirehead fox terrier, they know, okay, it needs to be hand stripped and it needs to be done roughly that often, because the breeder will tell them, because there are no puppy farms or puppy mills or stray dogs in Sweden. You get your dog from a proper breeder. While over here we have puppy farms, which is like your puppy mills, and people buy a dog. I want a dog. This dog looks cute. I buy it. And they have all the best intention. They love their little dog and everything, but no one has told them about how to care for it or how to train it to be house trained or anything. So then when they come to the groomer, it's like, okay, how do you want me to do your dog? I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? Do what you want.
Well,
So
here's this, I
that's
kind of like
different.
those clients do what
Yeah,
you want.
yeah,
Because then it just simply allowed me to do what I wanted. And
yeah.
even more fun was those clients with dogs with hair, and they're like, have at it. Hair grows back. If I don't like the clip this time, we'll just do something different next time.
Yeah.
So
No,
that
but it is that is, I mean, it's liberating in one way, but it's also because a lot of people they have a dog and they don't really care about the breed trims. And I used to be that breed specialist, breed trim specialist. That was what I was like famous for. So I could give you a show look on the fox terrier, or I can give you a show look on a poodle, and suddenly I'm here out in rural Ireland, and everything is done with a 5F all over. But it was good in a way, because that was at the same time as Asian fusion or Asian freestyle started to come around. So suddenly I could just play around with cute heads.
okay.
And I had plenty of time, because I just done 5F all over on the dog. And then I could spend time nitpicking that cute little head instead.
Well, and here's the thing too. This is basically what my clients were when I was grooming. They really only cared about three things:
Yeah,
face and tail. That was it.
yeah,
Neat, cute feet, cute face, nice looking tail.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
You know, everything else to them was, well, now I got to brush the dog.
exactly.
Okay. And I don't want to do that. All right.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, manage the tail a little bit, because you want the cute tail. You got to run a comb through it every
Once in a while.
yeah. Run that comb through it, please. Thank you. Because if not, the tail's going to get shaved, and then you could have cute feet and a cute face,
Hmm.
and then a little chihuahua tail,
Hmm.
short-haired chihuahua tail, not a long
Yeah.
hair. Maybe Min Pin would be a better tail. What do you say, Pooh? He's like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not on me.
Yeah, you know what? He's learned the danger signals, right? So I have a big walk-in shower. And so if
Yeah,
I grab him, he's getting a bath in the shower. So he doesn't walk in while I'm taking a shower till the
yeah,
water is off. He's glued to me.
yeah,
Wherever I am, he is, except when I'm taking a shower.
yeah.
He'll go sit with daddy. When the water is off, he'll come say, oh, hey, I didn't know you were taking a shower. What a
Hmm?
shame. I probably could
Yeah.
eat.
Oh, they know. I mean, they learn so quickly. And it's like when you have a dog that needs to clean its ear often, they always know exactly when you're heading towards the drawer with the cotton wool and the ear cleaner, they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So one of my dogs is, we'll say, a little difficult to cut his nails. Okay.
yeah.
He's the reason we have the doggy lift system, right?
Mm.
Get his nails done in less than a minute, as opposed to fighting and trying to kill each other. Okay. But we sneak that thing up like early when he's like outside or something, we'll put it up.
Yeah,
You actually see us put it on. And then he's the first one. Because if we do another dog first, forget it. We're not good. We're going to have to pick him up with a pair of welding gloves.
Yeah.
Right. But this way, all of a sudden he's being picked up and carried anyway. And like, by the time we put the muzzle on him and get the harness on him, he's like, what the hell just happened? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to be that dude.
Hmm.
And while we're at it, we're going to do your ears.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, now comparing against Sweden to Ireland, do people like groom on the same schedule, or there like sometimes a lot of people like here, when the dog needs it, or do you require people to be on a schedule?
No, because I live out in the rural parts of Ireland. I live in a tiny village. It's like 350 people here. So I'm not bothered about the schedule. I
Okay.
have no rules. My rule is that if you want your dog to be hairy, then and you come in and it's matted, then it goes off, and then we can find the schedule for you, and we can try. My experience tells me that 6 weeks would be a good time. We can try 6 weeks, and then we can stretch it up until whatever interval that you can deal with. But if you want to stretch it longer, I don't mind, but it might be shorter. Your dog might be short haired the next time. So I'm not stuck. I've never had rules like that for my clients. I'm very like, yeah, whatever. But I'm not going to kill myself dematting your dog for ages just because you want it hairy. If you don't want to brush it, someone needs to brush it. It's either you or me. So, and then that's otherwise, not now. People out here, they just want it short and comfortable for the dog. And I have clients. I have one client. She comes every 4 weeks with her Bichon, and I do like a wash and a tidy up one time, and then a full groom the next time. And then I have a bunch that are on the 6 week, but they're more like they have chosen it. I haven't told them, but the majority is around 8 to 10 weeks, I would say. But it's also because I closed my books several years ago, I weeded out all the once a year,
Yeah.
things like that. So the only ones I have left now are the ones that come on a more regular schedule. I have a couple that comes twice a year, but they do book. So when they go home, they book the next appointment in 6 months' time, because they learned the hard way that if they don't pre-book, it won't be any appointments left for them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Now I was mobile, so I did require people to be on a 6 week or less schedule.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't start out that way. All right. I started out as a mobile groomer with a van payment, was taking in anybody. And I learned the hard way, that's not the best way to be. And I think the lesson that drove home for me was a farm Pyrenees and a windhound she had. And the windhound wasn't bad, but it took me 4.5 hours on a semi-experienced groomer.
Yeah.
Groom that Great Pyrenees. And I said, I would never do that again. I would never, ever do that again. And I told her she's this dog at that time. I said, you can't go a full year. 3 months. If you set up an appointment in 3 months, I will continue to groom this Great Pyrenees. And she called me a year later and I declined.
Yeah.
Okay. And then even the 3-monthers, because it was a very, where I lived, it was rural. There was farm dogs. There was, suburban,
Yeah.
city. So I had all 3 types of locales within a 5-mile radius, 10-mile radius. Okay. But yeah, you know what, you got to find what really, really works for you.
Yeah.
As a mobile, yeah, 6 weeks or less. But that took a couple of years to get there. you know?
Yeah, it does. And that's what I think. You have to figure out what suits you and then find the people that suits you as well. And that's it's going to weed out after a while.
It will. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hold on.
If you're a dog lover, A Spirited Life is a must read. Filled with personal photographs, this book takes you on a journey through the life of the incredible Spirit Oquendo. It offers inspiration for anyone who feels life has dealt them a rough hand. Despite facing challenges, this dog, with the support of his mom, Mary, transformed his adversity into something truly remarkable. This book's humorous and touching anecdotes will have you laughing, crying, and occasionally spitting out your drink. Get your copy at positiveed.com/books.
Okay. So what was it like, the actual moving from one country to another?
Oh, it was tough. What I did, because I was lucky. So I actually have a sister that's also a groomer, and she moved here a couple of years before me. So I had been over to visit her several times, and I mean, she filled me in on life in Ireland, how people are and what to expect and things like that. And I also remembered once I decided that I was going to move, that I had a previous client that had moved to Ireland. So I made contact with her as well. So that set me up much more. I knew more what to expect. But then of course, I mean, all the practical things, learning all the rules and regulations, and also to say goodbye to all my friends and all my clients, and selling my business. And yeah, so it was a struggle, but it was also positive because I've been over several times and visited. There is a yearly grooming competition here in Ireland in October every year. And I've been competing at that competition for a couple of years while I visited my sister. So I had already got to know a lot of Irish groomers. So once I had decided I'm going to move, and I told everyone, like, I'm moving over to Ireland now, everyone was so welcoming and so helpful, and just like, oh my God, if you need anything, just let us know. So that made the transition easier because I didn't feel as lonely, because I live on my own. I had my dog with me, and then of course I had my sister, but she would ended up 3 hours from me. But I never felt alone because I had the Irish groomers behind my back, so to say, and just with support and everything. But it is tough. I mean, you have to learn new rules and regulations. You have to learn just how people function, client psychology, because clients here are different than clients in Sweden. So that was hard, and I made a couple of mistakes in the beginning, because one thing which is a bit funny now when you look back at it is, over here, if you want to say 2:30, you say 2:30. So half an hour after 2, but 2:30 in Sweden is half an hour before 2.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah. So I had a couple of like people not showing up on the time I had anticipated. And also, as a Swede, we struggle when you have the letter T and H together. That can be an issue. So, and also even just the T and U. So Thursday and Tuesday on the phone when you talk to an Irish farmer with a heavy accent, and me with Swedish accent, I had a couple of mix-ups with days. People show up on the wrong day, or I was calling them and say, "Where are you?" And it turned out that they were supposed to come another day. So, but other than that, I had done a lot of research before I moved. So a lot of the practical things were already sorted. So that was not a big issue. It was much more like just learning people's ideas of like when you ask your clients, how do you want him done? Oh, take a good bit off. Okay, how much is a good bit?
Yeah.
Okay, give him a good trim. Okay, how much is that? So yeah, in the beginning it was a lot of like, but in the end, I didn't have any disasters where I skinned them with a 10 blade and then it turned out they just wanted the ears trimmed or something like that. But
Yeah, client communications. I
yeah,
have
it's important.
a 6-week Maltese-ish puppy dog. Dog's done every 6 weeks. And every 6 weeks, the dog was basically scalped, except for a little thing on the top of the head so she could put a bow and had the little whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
And so I would get there and she would go, if you could leave, I'd like to have an inch left. Okay.
yeah,
There's not an inch of hair on this dog. The dog was scalped 6
yeah.
weeks. And I go, this is an inch, right? For those who are listening, I'm holding my fingers apart at about an inch. And she goes, yes. And I would then take her over to the dog. Your dog does not even have an inch of hair. Oh, do the thing do whatever you did last time. That was the conversation we had every 6 weeks until that dog passed away.
Yeah. I used to have one. He would always say, skin him to the second layer. So if he could choose, it would be a 40 in reverse on a Bichon Maltese cross. And I said, I can make him short, but not that short because, he's pink. He doesn't have any pigmentation. He's going to be burned. But if he could rule, it would be a 40 in reverse.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes what the client wants and what they get are going to be two different things, but here's the key to it. Communication. All right.
Yeah.
So I had an elderly client and they were having a really tough time maintaining their Shih Tzu. And so I'm looking at the dog and like, we can't keep this dog in a longer puppy cut anymore. They can't maintain it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it would be a nice little zero clip on and then shave and a zero clip on and a shave. And so I'm like, all right, listen, your dog is going to be naked. Your dog is going to be totally naked. All right. No, I can't. Your dog is going to be naked. Okay. So I put a plush cut on it. I was able to get a 5 skip through the coat and finish up with a 4. The dog had a nice coat. So the 4 was very plush, looks nice. And they're like, oh, this is really nice. Let's always do this. So we went, and instead of doing that nice trim, totally naked, nice trim, totally naked. But you always use the word naked. You understand your dog is going to be naked. See here.
Yeah.
Naked. All right. And if I can leave coat, then that's better. Okay. Yeah. And they're happy because the dog is not, they're envisioning naked. And God, if there's any piece of advice I can give groomers, don't ever use the words, I'll do my best.
No, that's what this is literally, I said, it's going to be on my grave tomb. Like, do not say that because it's the worst thing you can say because they only hear, I do. And then you didn't do your best. You were lazy. You took the easy way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't say that. Never.
No, don't respond with you're lazy because the person being lazy is not me. It's you for not brushing the dog. So let's be like really clear on that.
Yeah.
So I was never a groomer to sugarcoat anything. And I find that I never lost clients. Now I did work corporate and I had other groomers who would sugarcoat. So I'm going to say same person. I go in, this dog is going to be naked. They're fine with it. The other groomers, I'll do my best. The dog is naked and they're pissed. This is the same person. This is not two different people. This is the same person. Okay? It's that communication. Now, what are your aspirations in the grooming industry?
Oh, I've been in the grooming industry now for over 30 years. So I'm not sure if I have any aspirations left. I've done everything. So I've done a lot of show grooming. I've done competitions. I won best in shows. I become groomer of the year several times. I've judged grooming competitions. I teach grooming. I do seminars. I travel to do seminars, and people come to me for training and stuff. So I'm not sure if I have so much left.
Let's talk about that. All right.
Yeah.
So you teach grooming.
Yeah. I used to have a grooming school in Sweden. I don't do that now. So I don't teach beginners anymore, but I teach groomers to become better versions of themselves. So just to sharpen up their skills. So
Okay.
that's what I do. And I've started when the pandemic hit, and we literally, sorry, no, I'm just going to. We ended up in a lockdown. We were not allowed to leave our houses, more or less. We could go out for a walk with the dog, but no mixing with other people, no traveling, no nothing. So I started to look into online training. So I've set up 3.5 years ago, I started a website with videos, instructional videos, and it's like a video library. So that's what I'm working on now, more just to do more of that, literally. So, and then one day write a book, maybe. So that would be my aspiration now.
Okay. So, but the whole pandemic, that is when Positive Ed did a change, and we went from the once a month workshop to 2 days worth of summits and built a library because nobody was going to grooming shows at that point. And that was, we were locked down here, but not where we couldn't leave the house. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You're going to go out, mask up. My husband was immune compromised. So it was, you stay home and I'll go shopping.
Yeah.
I'm not immune compromised. If I get sick, I will probably live. Okay?
Yeah.
You get sick, at the very least, you're going to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a change, but that is also when a lot of online education really blossomed.
Yeah.
And I tried doing that years and years, for years prior to that, but it never really took off until COVID, because it's an easy way to get that continuing education.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a video library, you know what, if I can't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning and I want to learn something, I'm just going to turn on the computer and I'm going to go learn something.
Yeah. So that, and I think that that's what made COVID really made people realize that it's nice to be at home.
Yes. You know what, here's the thing. I really like being at home.
Me too.
I like working from home. And I would never be a home-based groomer because I don't like, this is like my space.
Yeah, exactly. Don't come interfere here, but
Yeah,
I want to be here, but you're not allowed.
This is kind of really nice, not going anywhere. Okay. My husband loved the fact, because he's not what we call a social butterfly. Okay.
Yeah.
He loved when it was, you have to stay 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, I would really like that to be a law in this country. Everyone needs to be 6 feet apart. And every once in a while, people getting too close to him, he's just like, give me space, people. Give me space.
Yeah.
You're sucking down my oxygen.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, not everybody looked at that as the good old days. My husband looked at it as the good old days. All right, so you have online. If somebody was interested in your online education, how would they get a hold of you?
So they can either go to dreamdogs.ie. That's my website. So, or find me on Facebook with I'm the only person in the world with this name, Mia Ovnos. But otherwise, dreamdogs.ie, and then just click on online training. So they can find more information there. And it's literally, what should I say? It's like Netflix or Spotify. So I think I have over 100 videos now on different things. And you just have access to everything. So it's not that you just have access to a small amount for a short time. As long as you're a subscriber, you can view everything. And I add new material every month. I now started as well because I overshare when I train people or when I educate. I always talk too much and too long and dive deep into rabbit holes, and people are like, oh my God, I only asked about this, and suddenly now you're like, so I realized that a couple of my videos, they're 3 hours long, and it's too much information.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you a recommendation. Take those 3-hour videos, chop them in half, make 2 videos out of them.
Yeah. So what I'm working on now, I'm doing, because they are mostly about theoretical topics. So I'm now doing them into courses instead. So they have chapters and lessons, and suddenly
that's much better.
15 minutes, 20 minutes rather than 3 hours.
Well,
no, I've learned a lot throughout the years.
And not even people who are ADHD that will naturally have a problem with that.
Yeah.
With everybody, because I'm not ADHD.
Yeah.
And can I sit down in 3 hours and watch things? Yeah, I could.
No.
Do I want to? No, I don't.
No. And I have got really good feedback, because what I want to try to do as well is to short chapters or short lessons, and then you can literally, okay, why does the coat change on a wirehead terrier when you clip it? Okay, scroll down to that chapter that answer that question instead of watching and then maybe find the answer in the 3-hour video. So I've done a lot of classes in like online training and think how to deliver it, and just everyone doesn't have a brain like my brain, so and I have to train on that to realize that part.
Okay. So let's jump ahead a little bit. 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I only have 1 more year and then I can retire. But no, I want to do more. I'm not grooming a lot nowadays because I got COVID 2.5 years ago, and it did a lot of damage to my body. So I haven't been able to work full time since then. So I can only groom 6 dogs a week, something like that, only small dogs. So I really focus on the online thing now. And so that's what I want to continue to do, just to fine tune it even more, and work more, do more courses, do that book. And that's the goal. So I definitely want to continue to do educational because I've always done educational things. Even since I started out when I was 16 and being like an obedience instructor for running obedience classes for people with dogs, and then work my way up and run classes for people how to care for their hamster and guinea pig and things like that. So it's always been a lot about education. So that's what I like to continue to do.
And I feel you, because my 5-year plan is not be doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
All right. My 5-year plan is to be fully retired.
Yeah.
Not working at all. Well, not working in which I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
All right. So it'll be my 5-year plan is to be more involved with more full-time in the volunteer world
Yeah.
that I'm in, on the boards that I'm in. I can devote more time to those. But I have interests and hobbies that are more important to me. And so I'm starting that downside. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it hits, well, I hope I won't be a forgotten memory in the pet industry. I'm not going to be an in-your-face person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, but it's also nice to have time. I realize that now since I got sick that if I want to dive deep into a topic, like because I am a sciencey person, so if I feel I want to learn more about something, I allow myself to take that time to do it, buy that book, buy that microscope so I can see how it looks in the nitty-gritty details and actually do that rather than just saying, oh, I have to work, I have to do this. And that's like semi-retirement now, and that's hopefully what I can do more. And yeah, talk to people, do podcasts about things that I am interested in. And
there's at the local Costco, I noticed yesterday while I was in there that they have a Celestron telescope. Not
yeah,
a huge model, but like an introductory one for like $250. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think we're gonna get, when we go shopping on Thursdays, I think we're gonna be picking up a telescope I could put
yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah. And just allow yourself to do things like that. Because in the end, I mean, this is what the pandemic showed us as well, that it's actually, there is something out there behind work, beyond work, and things can change so quickly. I mean, I never anticipated, I always worked a lot. I always worked, 150%. And suddenly now I'm not able to do even full time. I work like 25%. So, and it can change so quickly.
Yep.
And that's why you need to just think like, no, this is what I want to do. So
yeah,
just do it. Like, don't put it off until, oh, and when I retire, but start now.
yes, yes. All right, Mia, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Okay, so everybody join me next week when I interview another person making a difference in the pet industry.